Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, depending on where you are across the world. And welcome to the One Heart, One Earth November Awakening event for 2020. My name is Lisa Gunshore. I have been your host all throughout this event, and this is the Buddhist Biohacker platform. And we are so excited for everybody to be a part of this. I took a little bit of time during the break to check in our MeWe communities. And my gosh, there are so many incredible supportive messages in there. If you have not yet joined us on MeWe, we have a One Heart, One Earth forum. There's also a Buddhist Biohacker forum. You're welcome in there. And our private ajatakasa forum is there if you're part of that membership community. So it's just a really nice, secure place to be. And there's so many supportive messages on there right now. It's just beautiful. And we are here with Susan Walter, who is her own divine, angelic, artistic, incredible, beautiful self. And welcome back.
Thanks for having me. And I've been looking forward to this all week and
Oh,
listening to all the fantastic presenters you've had on. It's been amazing.
thank you. Yeah, I was really excited you were here today. I said this morning, it's like a whole group of women who are holding space today, holding energy for this final day. And so it just continues to ring true. So I'm glad to have you here and your incredible energy. And we have so many new people to the community. And I know you've been on Buddhist Biohacker, but if you want to share a little bit about who you are and what you do, that'd be awesome. And I see all your
Oh,
beautiful art behind you too.
yeah, I do a number of different things. I started out, the very first thing I started doing and offering was angel portraits. I see the angels that are with people and I draw those. And then in 2012, I started the project of um, drawing a mandala for each one of the Solfeggio frequencies. And that's how I originally got introduced to them. And originally, I thought there were only 6 frequencies. Did a little more research and found out that there was actually 9 sets of 9 frequencies, so a total of 81. So that would ended up being a 8-year project completing all of those mandalas. And then got back into, after taking quite a break from doing acrylic paintings, I got back into doing that. I play with watercolor a little bit, and then of course I also from the video I shared, I do crystal singing bowl meditations, and the bowls that I have are all Solfeggio frequency bowls.
Hmm.
And for those of you who don't know what the Solfeggios are, which I'm sure there's, it's one of those things that's just being reintroduced to a lot of people. They're often also referred to as the lost chords of creation, the whole tones, even the music of the spheres. Because each sphere or planet, moon, all put off a frequency. Even our own sun puts off frequency on 528, which is the frequency of divine love, and is also very healing for our DNA at this time to help us, reactivate, the dormant strands of DNA that we have within our body. And if you want to get into the science of what the Solfeggios are, they're always 3-digit numbers. With no zeros, and they always add up to either 3, 6, or 9.
Oh, interesting.
It was Nikola Tesla that said if we understood 3, 6, and 9, we'd understand the universe.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But yeah, there's been a couple of books written about the Solfeggios. There's a few articles here and there. You can find a lot of Solfeggio music on YouTube. And because more and more of our musicians are realizing how important frequency is and are retuning their instruments to 432 instead of the 440, because it's all about reconnecting the different brains within our body, because we actually have 3 brains. We have brain in our gut, we have a brain in our heart, and then of course the one we're all familiar with, we all overuse. But it's all about reconnecting those 3 hearts to get them to work together in synchronization.
That's really beautiful. And oh, they're asking how to spell it. It should be up on the screen here, but I'll put it in the chat too here.
Yeah, I didn't even have the chat pulled up.
There we go. So yeah, there's the spelling for it, and it's on the screen too.
Their frequencies, they were used a lot until probably the 1600s when the church conveniently lost them. And that is why they're referred to as the lost chords of creation. People were having spiritual experiences through things like the Gregorian chants and things like that without the control of the church. And, we can't have that.
Now, don't get us in trouble on here, Susan.
I would be the one to do that, wouldn't I?
Oh gosh, it's all okay. We're under the umbrella of light.
Yes, we are.
So, okay, so this is interesting to me because do the Solfeggio frequencies relate to the angelic realms? Or are they their own thing? Like, do you find that they're related to certain types of beings? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
The angelic beings, this is the frequencies they use to communicate with each other.
Oh, okay.
These are also the frequencies used to sing universes into existence. The Big Bang wasn't a bang, it was a tone, but what tone was that sung in? So, because when you get down to an atom is an atom. There's no difference between an atom, in your heart and an atom in the table I have sitting in front of me. It's all what frequency it vibrates at. Yeah. Is it faster or slower? As humans, we often think of it as higher or lower. I think faster, slower is really much more accurate.
That makes sense. Do you think that have you found that crystals vibrate at these frequencies?
I have not had confirmation of that on a scientific level, but it is my understanding that yes.
That's amazing. So go over the numbers again for everybody who's
there's
all of them.
Being 81 of them. Some of the earthly ones, oh geez, I'm gonna have to pull them up. 174, 528 is considered to be an earthly frequency. I'm actually even going to my own website to pull these up because
I love it.
And the triple digits like 111, 222, those are what's referred to as the angelic frequencies. The earthlies, which are the ones that are most important to us because they're the frequencies used to sing our little solar system into existence, are 174, 285, 396, 417, and then that 528, 639, 741, 852, and 963 are the earthly ones.
Okay.
They always add up to that 3, 6, or 9 when you do, with just like you do with numerology.
Okay. So how do you find out about these? You said you're going to your website, so I know that's a resource, but it's all even square for you. I think that's a good thing to ask.
There are a few books out there. If you scroll down to the very bottom of my website, I have a little link called resources. I have a couple of books that I used as references. And then I do have some articles in there as well that talk, that go into some more of the detail of the Solfeggio frequencies. But and they're just, most of those are not articles I wrote, they're articles I found in different places. So at the bottom, you can find a link to where I found it, so you can continue to do your own research.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Everybody who's in this live chat, if you have questions too for Susan, please throw them in there and we'll talk about them. What do you want to share about your journey of awakening?
Oh, geez. Yeah, because Mine started at a very young age because I had near-death experiences at 4, and then I had even a second one at the age of 6. I do remember the one at 6 just a little more vividly than the one at 4, but yeah, that was a big, big one for me where I actually experienced um, some time, in a garden, which I'm sorry, I'm being joined by one of my cats here.
It's okay.
Uh, um, I was in this garden where I was introduced to 3 of my own personal angels. And then I was just able to see them all the time after that. And then in 97, they started showing me everybody else's. And I was like,
Mm.
what am I supposed to do with this? Yeah. But so I went into meditation because I'd been practicing meditation for a couple of years by that point. That and I was told that I was supposed to learn to draw or paint them, and to share them with others. So that was really my kind of the short version of my awakening.
Mm. Yeah, that's beautiful. What do you think about how has your work helped you in this time of awakening right now?
Yeah, in a way, this time has not affected me as much as a lot of people because I was already working from home. Um, because I have been doing the artwork and the angel portraits full time for the last, it's now 7 years. Um, got laid off from the last corporate job in 2013. And I was in the tech industry where you tend to get laid off every 2 to 3 years. And I just had enough after 13 years in the industry. And um, I've just been here doing my work full time now.
That's awesome. Do you paint or draw these frequencies?
The frequencies, other than the sorry, other than
It's
the
okay.
Mandala. No. By the way, that's Lily. Her
Aw.
sister Toddy is around here somewhere.
Aw.
She tends to be a little more shy. But drawing other than the mandalas, that's the only way that I've been able to draw the frequencies. The angels, I see them here. I guess it's on this side. Look at myself backwards. I don't know if you can see this. That's an angel that has come to me. It is not somebody's personal angel portrait. I've had a number of the archangels and other angels come to me over time as well and asked to be drawn. That angel. I didn't even give me a name. It's the transformation,
Hmm.
and that's why that's the one I choose to hang on the wall all the time because it seems like what is the one thing that's constant in our world but change.
Yeah. So true. Michelle's asking if you see angels as male or female.
They are androgynous, but sometimes they can hold an energy that is more feminine or more masculine. And then especially with your personal ones, always know if one is showing themselves as being more feminine, for example, then you have another one that is holding that masculine energy to always keep it in balance.
Do you ever find that they change too? Because sometimes Archangel Gabriel, for example, will come through very feminine for me. And then other times Gabriel is very masculine for me. So it's like, it sort of depends. And I've got to fix my blinds, but go ahead and start talking and I'll be right here.
Yes, that is, they do that quite frequently. Even your personal ones will do that.
Yeah, I've found that myself, just where they just sort of shift sometimes depending on
Mhm. Yeah,
the message.
it's like what is needed, what messages they're bringing forth.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. What's your favorite angel story?
Oh, probably one of the most, and this one's actually probably one of the most intense ones. And this was at a psychic fair where I was drawing portraits for the weekend. And a young girl came up to me, and to be honest, I personally didn't even want to do her portrait um, because I could tell that she was still under the influence.
Mm.
And this is the one and only time I've ever done this where, the guides and angels, we know we really need to do this. So I did. Um, and to be honest, and then at the time, kind of forgot about it. Then about a year and a half later, I was at the same fair again, and this young girl came back to me. And she was telling me how literally the next day she started, changing the people she was hanging out with. She started getting sober. She, within a couple of months, she was enrolled in community college. And behind the whole time she's standing there and talking to me about all these changes and things she'd been through in the last year and a half, there's this young man who's grinning from ear to ear. And then it turns out he had actually even proposed to her the night before.
Aww.
Yeah, so she, and it all started with the angel portrait.
That's amazing. Do you often see that people receive healings from these angel portraits and connecting with their own angel?
Yes, definitely. And and some, it's like the portrait is just like opening the door or opening that portal. It's, that's just the beginning. It's like, some people have even referred to it as an activation for them. Some people have talked about how, their angels started talking to them all the time after them. Or, I think their angels were already talking to them. They were just able to hear them a little more clearly because they had that physical picture to look at, that visual, that visual piece. As humans, that just makes it a little easier for us when we have something to look at and connect to. I hope that makes sense.
It does. It does. Nancy has a question for you. She says, does each angel have their own frequency? I will sometimes hear a high pitch when I ask for clarity.
And I think they do. But and that also kind of connects with their what we think of as names. And it's like because their real names, they're very tonal, very almost musical.
Mm-hmm.
And you can put her down. But and they would take us about 15 to 20 minutes to say their full name. So when I'm doing a portrait for someone, they spell for me a piece of that.
Mm.
And one of the things they're always very adamant about is I am never to pronounce it for them. They are supposed to pronounce it themselves. And there's really no right or wrong way to say it. It's, what feels right to them. And even if they want, because it's an abbreviation already, if they want to abbreviate it further, that's okay. Some people I've had come back to me and they only use like, one letter of the name that, I wrote on the portrait. It's really what works for you and for them.
What's the process like? So if somebody wants to, have an angel portrait with you, like what are some of the things you do to prep yourself? Is there anything, and how does it work for the client as well?
It's gotten easier and easier for me over the years. At first there was a lot more meditation and stuff involved than there is now, but now I pretty much just, sit down, and once I'm able to see the person, either whether it's through, Zoom or something like this or in person, as long as I can see their eyes. And I have even done them just from photographs too.
Oh, wow.
Um, so, it's whatever, especially for people that want to give them as gifts sometimes as a surprise. I'm provided as long as I can see the eyes, and the more recent the photo, the better.
Mhm. Now, do you have mandalas or pictures that you've drawn of archangels that are available to people if they're not sure they want to do their own angel, or what do you have available?
Yeah, I do. I have done angels for the month. I've typically done angels of the year as well. A number of the archangels I've done, Michael, Uriel, Gabriel, and some different ones. It's when they come to me, I'll draw them.
Hmm.
So there are some different ones, all of it, prints on my website. Um, of those, and then same goes for the mandalas. There's, I do have prints of the mandalas, and then I've also even created some coloring books with those, with the mandalas, and as well as even like a deck of cards. And that's what I've personally started doing. I do something called soul growth readings, and I use those, the 81 cards to do those readings with.
Nice. Tell us about your readings.
The readings they are a little different than most people. It's not going to be what's going on at the job, what's going on with the boyfriend. I usually, once in a while, I'll get answers like, for questions like that, but not very often. It's really more about the growth of your soul, where you've been and where you're going, and really kind of what you need to be doing to take that next step in your evolution, in your awakening. Yeah, that's the best way I've figured out to describe it.
Yeah, which is what everybody needs right now for sure. And Erica has a question. She said, do other spirits or guides or ancestors send tonal messages as well?
Yeah, if they do, that is not something that I tap into. So I really honestly can't say yes or no to that. I know, a lot of our ancestors, yeah, they'll use a lot of different things. I've seen them use birds and, you know, music and all kinds of different things to just kind of go, hi, yes, I'm here for you. How can I help you? But, that is not something that I personally tap into.
How do you use sound, to connect?
Um, yeah, because of, that's what affects, every atom in our body. I think atoms or music or something that it can be used to clear space, which is something, a way that I use it almost daily. Sometimes I'll just leave music on all the time. Particularly, do I tend to use about the solfeggio music? Yeah, that's kind of what I lean towards, but not exclusively either. But music, I think, in tone affects everything. Frequencies that, like the 440 frequency, that separates the connection between, the different brains and our chakras. And takes us out of alignment. So
Mm.
using music to help us, get into alignment, to clear our space, I think can be very, very helpful. And sometimes I will turn it even down low enough where you can't audibly hear it, but it's still going to energetically affect the space.
Is there music out there? I guess I've never even looked. Like, is there Solfeggio music out there?
Oh, there's tons of it. Yeah, I would suggest go to YouTube and find different artists that you like, and then you can research and find their websites. And if you're interested in purchasing that music from them, you can get the Solfeggio frequency crystal bowls, and and some of the Tibetan bowls, different bowls are also of those frequencies, but they're almost by accident. It is very, because they are very specific hertz frequencies. Like, 528 is a frequency, but 529 is not. 526, yeah, and so they're very specific. And an A is not always going to be, you know, isn't just 440. It is actually a range, of tones. So, but those you can get those out there. And some of the companies that make the crystal bowls and sell those are a little bit better about sharing that information with you than others.
Mm-hmm.
That's another way to use it. Using the mandalas themselves. I do a number of things with that. Because even with the deck of cards, for example, I've used those by, charging about, a glass of water. I'm charging essential oils or herbs with that frequency as well. I know one lady, she puts them in her pillow at night.
Mm.
But she has found that putting more than one at a time is a little too much for her. People have also put them under massage tables where they were doing energy work with people. Most people come to the conclusion using more than 3 for that is a little too intense. You can, so those are some of the ways, I've even had, one of the things I like to do with them, I hold the mandalas to my body when I'm meditating, or even sit on them.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. Um, and Erica, thank you. She said, go to YouTube, Lisa. There's probably a bunch of these frequencies on YouTube. I probably listened to them. I just think I never paid attention, I think is where I'm at. So, and it makes me wonder too about, I love the chanting of the Tibetan lamas, and they do a 2-tonal guttural chant where they mix 2 sounds together. So I wonder,
the throat singing and stuff.
Yeah. So I wonder where that ranks on the frequency scale.
From what I've seen, because I've played around with that just a little bit, because you can literally get free apps on your phone to so you can figure out what frequency they are.
Oh, that's cool. You can?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm making a note of this.
You can, and then I know I have an app also on my phone that, and I believe I mentioned the name of it on my resources page, where I can, it'll play, my phone will play different frequencies, and I can set what church frequency I want it to play, and I can play up to 3 different ones at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I've done that too.
That's awesome. Erica's asking how you charge water.
I've used it by literally just setting the glass of water on top of the of the drawing, or of the card, or if you've got the coloring book and you've colored it in, you have to literally just set the glass of water right on top of it and let it set for a little while.
Cool.
Yes, and that's that, and that works with anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking of Michelle, who was on earlier with her aromatherapy. She could be charging her stuff. She probably does things, but yeah, she could use those as well. So do you ever listen to do you listen to the frequencies when you're doing your drawings and things?
Oh yeah, that's pretty much all I listen to when I'm working on on that. Yeah. Yeah, even now, I've started a new project now where I think that like the 144 that we're all so familiar with as being the 144,000 way showers that are expected to help with the transition. I think that's actually a frequency.
Mm.
So and 144 does add up to 9. So I've even I'm in the process of creating mandalas. I've already done 144. I'm working on 280, or it'd be not 288. It would be 144255, which adds up to 12, which is 3. So I'm working on that series of mandalas right now, and so I'm listening to that frequency of 255 the whole time I'm working on that.
How many mandalas have you created? Do you know?
At the moment, 82. Yeah, I think, before I started on this project, I played around with mandalas a little bit because I'd gotten old. And really what started the mandalas originally for me was I got this old antique toy. It's an old metal toy. And you can still find them on eBay and quite frequently in the antique stores. And it's a toy called the Hoot Nanny. Yeah, there really was a toy called that.
That's awesome.
But it's the grandfather to the spirograph. So and it created very circular images just like the spirograph does today. But I started out creating mandalas from the line work from those. and that was just a lot, a lot of fun. And then I literally had someone who was teaching a class on the frequencies, on the 6 original frequencies, and that I was the 6 original frequencies I was introduced to. And he asked me just see what happened. When I listened to them, and and that's where how I really got into the project.
Do you still use it?
Actually not anymore. No, I don't. I did use it for the original earthly Solfeggio frequencies for that first set of 9. I did, but I was having a little problem with symmetry with the product. So I eventually did go to creating the line work in Photoshop on my picture, and then I print that out and then color it in.
Oh,
And
nice.
and then sometimes it does, as I continue to listen to the frequency, it does, sometimes the mandala will change a little bit. So then I have to go back to the original line work for the coloring books to, but it is always listening to that frequency.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I wonder if we just listened to it all weekend, how we'd feel by the end of the weekend. Probably amazing.
I think you'd probably be a little floaty.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But there are some of them that are, if you listen to some of the different ones, there is ones for grounding and things like that too. For helping, there's one for helping clear relationship issues. There's one for awakening your intuition. Each one of them, if you go in and look, on my website and look at the more details about each one of them, I give 1 to 2 paragraphs about what that frequency can help you with.
Oh, that's awesome.
What that frequency is all about. So, then that's part of why, the project took me, almost 8 years to complete, is because words are what I struggle with. I see the visualizations, I get the images, but the words are a little harder for me.
Makes sense. Now you have a presentation. Everybody, Susan Walter's information, of course, is on the presenter page, and you have a presentation, all your information in there. But what do you want to share about, what your presentation, do you want to share anything about what they can expect when they go in there for the people who are new to all of this?
Oh, the crystal singing bowls is just kind of like, for me, it's like bathing in the sound. For me, it literally, for me, it's like swimming in space. And I've even read some channeled material with the frequencies that that's part of what some beings use as a guide, or almost as a map, because of the, each of the different planets and moons put off a different frequency. That's, they use those frequencies as a guide. So to me, that's almost what it's like. Is just, I listening to them, I just go out there.
Yeah.
Somebody's very needy today.
I know, right? It's a kitty day. Mine was the same way earlier. She's actually still in here. She's curled up. I have a space heater in my office, and when I turn it on, it's like no matter where she's at in the house, she knows that heater's on. Comes and she lays in front of it, and that's where she is right now. So she's down there in front of the heater, all curled up in a little ball, and so cute. But I think, animals, of course, are so telepathic, and they probably know we're all connected and engaged in this energy and want to be part of it.
And this one very much, she spends a lot of time on top of my art desk when I let her.
Yeah. Nancy has a question. She says, is there a good frequency for sleep?
Oh, that's a good question. I cannot think of a specific one at the moment. I will look into that, and I will later put a comment in, in the YouTube videos, when I, had some time to research that just a bit.
Cool.
I'm going to make a note of that.
Yeah, that'll be good. It's a great question.
That is. Yeah, and to start out with, I'd probably start with 528 to begin with. Yeah, it's like, if you're only going to get one crystal singing bowl, I get the bowl for the heart. If you're only going to work with one Solfeggio frequency, being in the third dimension, 528 is the frequency I would recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just finish making that note for myself to research that and go through and figure that out.
Yeah, I love the questions and participation from everyone this whole week, because I've taken so many notes this week of stuff, because everyone's just got such great ideas and great questions and great stuff to share. It's so awesome.
Yeah, I know I'm going to have to go through and listen to some of them again. And I know some of the presenters I had before this, got into the one-on-ones like this. I didn't have time to listen to all the presentations, so I need to go back and listen to those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
And
I produced them and I need to go back and listen. So, and I shared earlier, they're going to be open till November 30th. So we all have a few weeks to continue to engage. Cause I'm like you, I need to go back. Like, now that this is going to be complete here soon, I can go back and just really listen and take in everything.
Yeah, and I admire all the hard work you've put into this and the stamina it must have taken to do this many interviews day after day.
I'm definitely, like, right now, my voice, you guys can tell probably, it is definitely shot. Like, I don't know that I'll be talking at all this weekend. I'm feeling the vocal cords, like, saying, okay, we're done.
You need some warm water with honey and lemon.
Yep, for sure. For sure. I'll be ready. I'm looking forward to my Friday night, just sort of like cozying on in with the kids and the kitty and just being quiet, I think, and just kind of resting. I'm really excited. I want to get an angel portrait done with you. I think that'd be really fun. So we'll have to talk offline about that. But I just think it's really amazing when you can bring something like that, in through and into consciousness. How long does it take you? Like, I just can imagine you at the fairs, like, doing people's portraits all day. I've seen people do them when I worked at the psychic fair circuit. It was like, whoa, like there was always a couple people doing a lot of drawings of auras or whatever. How long does it take you usually?
It takes me about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour to do a portrait. I've tried, like doing things like doing them a little bit smaller or things like that to make it go faster, and it just doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and here one of the things that happened about almost 2 years ago now, I started seeing light language, and it usually starts at the throat and it goes right down the center of the body. And that was something new, and that's always like a message from the angels to the higher self. So it is not something we need to consciously know what it says, because it's like the moment your higher self sees it, they know what the message is.
Mm-hmm.
But that, it does continue to change and evolve even for me.
Yeah. Yeah, light language is just a beautiful thing. Like, if you just allow yourself to let it come through you and just not analyze it.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Clear back. What was it? Was it Saturday that we had the light language meditation? I think.
Yeah, I believe it was. And I know that is definitely one of them I want to go back and listen to again.
Yeah, I felt like I had such a powerful healing during that. My gosh, feels like it was forever ago. But yeah, I think that was on Saturday and that was really wonderful. So, oh my gosh. So what are your plans now as we go into the end of this year and next year? Like, what does the future look like for you with your work, and like, what's front of mind for you that you want to share with everyone?
I want to continue with this project. The mandalas for, that I originally thought that set of mandalas with the 144 and on up, I thought it was to help us evolve into 5D. I think it's more I work with it, I think it's more devolving to 6D. So I'm going to, that's going to be a project that's going to take me a few months to do, because each one of those mandalas has a minimum of 30 to more like 40 hours to complete from the time I start listening to the frequency, do the line drawing, and then color them in. That's going to take me a little while to finish that project. And then I am totally rearranging how I do the coloring books, because they've always been self-published. And I want to do them a little bit differently, where they're printed on a better quality paper for a little matte for coloring, and they're probably actually not even going to be in book format anymore. They'll come in a bag, and then so that way, once you've colored them, if you want to hang them, it'll be a lot easier to do that.
I admire your discipline and all the work you put into your projects. It's so amazing. Truly. It's just a gift. Do you want to share with everybody a little bit of like how they find you and what's accessible to them and the different, because you offer a lot of different things, and I want to make sure you are able to share all of that with everyone.
They can find out, of course, everything's on my website, SusanWalterArt.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram as Susan Walter Art. I do have a special group on Facebook as well, Susan's Insiders. There I do a giveaway every couple of weeks. I'll also, as soon as a new painting is done or drawing, it is offered there first to that group of people. I also sometimes will, a piece that has been around a little too long. I might even do, an auction that lasts 2 or 3 days if anybody, so do a number of different things on that page. I did just this week during all this, get on MeWe. So, and so far the only group I'm on is yours. Having time to do all this social media and keep up with it can sometimes, as you know, can be overwhelming. But so just Facebook and Instagram and now MeWe are the only social media. I do have a small YouTube channel where I've put up a few things, and you can find a couple other crystal ball meditations there as well.
Nice.
But I did also, because I know, as some of you have probably noticed, listening to the crystal singing bowls through the speakers on our computers is not of the highest quality. I did go into a sound studio and record 2 different singing bowl meditations there. And those are available on a hard CD, physical CD, if you want that. They're also available for download. What else is on? There's also, and I always do, particularly when I do those live with different groups, I always do a meditation, just a guided meditation, just kind of help people relax and get grounded and centered and connected with Mother Earth. So I also recorded that 8-minute approximate meditation, though when I'm doing them live, they're different. It's every single time. But I did record one of those as well. And of course, the coloring books, the mandala cards are all available on the site, as well as prints in various sizes. All the original work can be found there. Booking the sessions, you can even schedule the time right there on my website if that's what you choose to do. And of course, use the contact page for if you have any questions.
So awesome. You do so much, and you're such a light in the world. I'm really, really honored that you were part of this event, Susan.
I'm honored that you asked me to be part of it. And I always feel like, again, I'm sure a lot of light workers feel this way. There's always something more that I could be doing. But so I'm always open to figure out, find out, what that might be next.
Well, I'm happy you did this, and you guys can find all of Susan's information and her presentation up on oneheartoneearth.net. And time has flown, and we have one more presentation. That's it, you guys, in 9 minutes. I'll be back with Carrie Brackett, and she's going to be talking about trusting the process, and will be complete. So thank you so much, Susan, and Susan's lovely kitty, Lily.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you guys in just mere moments.